Hello and good afternoon, everybody. As President, I want to take a few minutes to update the American people on the recent economic crisis that we are currently facing and the steps we are taking to bring this country back to where it once was. Recently, speculating in the stock market has become a part of everyday life for most of us. As you know, the stock market was flourishing in our previous years. However, right now we are experiencing the biggest stock market crash since records have begun. Wall Street has become a part of the larger way of life. This crash doesn't only involve one class of Americans. This affects everybody. This will hurt people across the United States, not only the people who have invested in the market. Over the past several days, without warning, we as Americans have watched the stock market toss and turn. This abnormal fluctuation has caused many Americans to panic. And I'm here to tell you that we do not have to panic. As we faced challenges in the past, this country has resolved them by coming together, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. So let me start with some of the effects of this crash. According to Kim Amido, a U.S. economy expert, this crash will cause unemployment to increase to nearly 25%. Average wages will decrease 42%. Economic growth will fall 50%, and this will leave many people without a home. This crash will cause many banks to close and many people to lose all of their life savings in the blink of an eye. These banks are being forced to close because they do not have the money. They don't have the financial backing of the federal government. With today being the Tuesday after the beginning of the crash, Gail Cohen, a professional writer, says that all current American stocks are worth 22% less than they were before. That's a significant drop-off that we will fix. Many Americans will live in poverty because of this, but there are brighter days ahead. I will provide this country with a feeling of ease. Our government, and myself included, have made mistakes. But together we will fix these to grow and be even better than before. It is my personal responsibility to do the necessary things for our country. So now that we've talked about the effects and the current situation we're facing, I want to talk about how as a country we are going to get through this. We have all turned a blind eye, myself included, to the activity involving the stock market. We as a country have several plans in place to ensure the American people that we can recover and that we will not have to deal with this ever again. Our first plan of action will be government supervision over the stock market. This will be essential to our recovery as a country. Insider trading will not be a thing. This will be monitored. This will no longer be a free market without supervision. This supervision will ensure that any sign of abnormal activity will be addressed immediately and gotten to the bottom of. This kind of attention will protect our market and the American people. Secondly, we will also have federal backing of the banks involved. These banks fell into trouble because, according to author Robert Chandler, investors were able to buy stock at only 10% down. After the American people started to panic, everybody ran to the banks to withdraw their money. That just wasn't there anymore. So financially backing these banks will give Americans the ability to trust the bank again and ensure that their assets are safe. Recently, I have met with the CEOs of major American companies like Ford Motors, DuPont Chemicals, and General Motors. These companies will help in the rebuilding of our economy. Their help will allow these companies and other companies to keep their wages at consistent levels. This will allow companies to minimize their layoffs. And to benefit our economy as a whole, these major American companies will comply with the government to participate in work sharing if they must reduce manpower. And work sharing means that two workers work a half a day each, or they work every other day. Our final step to prevent this from happening again is the stock market will cut their trading from 6 days to 5 days a week. According to Davis, a communication professor, high-frequency trading has been identified as a potential risk to market stability. Therefore, this cut is absolutely necessary. It will force traders and investors to adjust to a shortened work week, but ultimately, this will benefit our country and our economy. Join me in support of these new policies and look forward to better days. So I want to take this quick time here to wrap up what we've discussed today. We are currently facing an economic crisis that is affecting many American people. Our economy is not what it used to be. Our unemployment is at a record high, our average wage has decreased, our economic growth is falling, and in most parts of the country, we're being forced to live in poverty. I've also discussed the action steps we must take to bring our country back to where we once were. Government will supervise trading and investing, we will have federal backing of the banks, and finally, we will cut down on the amount of time we spend trading and investing. This is the age of prosperity, and I will do whatever I can to make us better than before. The United States will be okay. Thank you.